you're a fan of homemade lemonade, so
Yes.
I have actually homemade you some lemonade, if you
Very
believe
kind.
that.
It's a lovely gesture.
So, the Football Ramble,
Yeah.
your website,
Yeah.
which you run with three mates. And how did that all come about?
Well, it started off as a podcast about football and tried to sort of create a football show that people like us wanted to listen to because it seemed a little bit sort of stale on telly and on the radio and stuff. And yeah, it just became successful from there.
But you ever tempted to talk about more than football?
Yeah, I'm tempted to talk about everything, but the problem is I don't know if I know too much about anything else apart from football, really. I do a show on Friday nights sometimes, World Football Phone-In, where people ring in from all around the world and ask questions about football, and you're expected to answer them, and if you don't, they tell you off.
I mean, have you had any sort of bizarre questions from far-flung places?
Yeah, you do get, I mean, you obviously, it's impossible to know everything about something so vast, you know, as world football, so you do get questions. I only do Europe, so there's another guy that comes on and does South America, but yeah, you get asked about questions about football players you never heard of before.
Where next for Bogota FC?
Yeah, that sort of thing, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
So being obviously a huge football fan, I was slightly expecting you to opt for a strong Belgian lager.
No, yeah, this is the thing. I think hopefully the Football Ramble doesn't really fulfil those sort of football shirt wearing, lager swilling stereotypes, which hopefully is why people like it.
Right, so your first dish, toad in the hole.
Yes. When I was growing up, my parents both worked, so as a result of that, we could never really all sit down during the week and have a meal. Every Sunday we'd make sure we sat down and we'd usually have a roast, you know, traditionally. But if the roast got a little bit repetitive every week, we used to mix it up and my mum used to make a toad in the hole, which is it's something that sort of reminds me of my childhood a little bit.
Food at football grounds is a funny one.
Yes, it is, yeah. It used to just be all about pies,
Yeah.
but now there's burgers and hot dogs and all sorts. And at Craven Cottage, where Fulham play, they do a cottage pie, which I think
Nice,
is very good.
clever.
Yeah.
So your second dish, rice pudding.
Yeah. Well, this is something my nan made for me. She hasn't made it for me for a number of years now, actually, but it was, we used to go and visit them on a Saturday. And she'd always make a nice big rice pudding with sultanas in it and the skin on top, which we all used to argue over and that sort of thing.
Well, so the skin was good?
Yeah.
So you've written a fair bit about racism in football, which was obviously quite a big issue with the Euros. I mean, how much of a problem do you see it being in this country?
Not so much of a problem these days, but I think you've got to be careful to realise that just because it's not as bad here as it is somewhere else, I mean, even one incident is bad enough. You know, we've maybe not had bad issues with racism in the stands at football in this country, but we've had it with lots of different players in the UK. So it's always a problem. And I think, you know, it's important to remember that one incident is one too many. You know, so it's always a problem if you're not sort of on top of it.
So Luke, tell me about your third and final dish, and it's the one that we're going to cook together as well.
It's a roast chicken, James. What can we say? There's nothing more to say about it, is it? I'd say like a roast is my favourite meal, and chicken would be my favourite meat within that. So it's the ultimate favourite of the favourite.
Right. So, I mean, roast chicken, obviously, from your childhood, your mum makes the best roast chicken. I'm not going to try and compete. It's really the same components as you're used to, but just in a slightly different way. So we're going to make a nice sort of flavoured salt.
Okay.
So we've got some lemon thyme here, which is thyme, but...
Lemony?
Yeah.
Hence the name, yeah.
And a bit of lemon zest and some Maldon sea salt. And what sort of thing do you like to eat when you're going out?
Pizza, there's quite a few cool, decent pizza places near where I live.
You know what Woody Allen said about pizza?
What?
The way he said pizza's like sex. When it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
So if you were on your way to the gallows, would this be the last thing you ate?
Yeah, like a massive roast chicken, yeah.
I think it'd be mine as well. I always used to try and say something esoteric, but actually, roast chicken is, again, you're obviously, quite a mummy's boy, really.
Yeah, everyone is on, isn't everyone? I think the thing with the chicken, though, is that, I mean, you'll probably be able to tell me more about this, is that people get scared about cooking chicken because they're worried about undercooking it, and they end up overcooking it, whereas my mother never did that, which is
was always spot on.
Yeah, but everyone thinks their mum's the best cook, right?
And you've contributed to this book, which is out in the autumn.
Yes, Life's a Pitch. Yeah, it's a number of different writers have all contributed a chapter It's coming out in the end of September. So mine's about the, I suppose, the success and then demise of Portsmouth from about the early 90s all the way through to the present day.
And is Harry Redknapp a hero or a villain?
Villain. He set the record for annoying as many people as he could in the shortest amount of time possible.
He's not welcome in Hampshire anymore.
No, he's not, no.
Right, better see how this chicken's doing.
Let's do it, I'm looking forward to it.
Giving the chicken a good sort of 10-minute rest just to let all the juices distribute themselves.
That's a good tip to remember, is it?
No, absolutely vital. With pretty much any meat, always let it rest for a bit.
Okay.
So then I've got this lovely chicken from Old Slenningford Farm in North Yorkshire. Perfect. Good pinch of Maldon sea salt. I think now you can dig in.
The moment I've been waiting for.
So you were a footballer as well?
A very average one, but yeah, I was, yeah.
Where did you play?
Centre midfield or centre back.
Well, you've got the build for it.
Yeah, basically. Tall and fat, yeah.
Oh, tall and strong.